welcome to tonight's workshop on adapting to uncertainty in the ebbs and flows of life. If you are watching this on the replay and you want to skip all of the housekeeping, I would advise going ahead and fast forwarding to about the 15-minute mark. Content should begin about there, maybe a little bit earlier, but try the 15-minute mark. If you are here live, if you are joining live, then you already know how we do it. This is maybe my third or fourth live workshop here on YouTube. Typically, I do my live workshops on Instagram. Um, so, for the past few weeks, I have been talking about energy and balance, and that trickled over to talking about the ebbs and the flows of life. Of course, here on Higher Alignment, typically I talk a lot about goal achievement and habit development. And I also, of course, teach you lots of techniques that you can use to accomplish, achieving your goals or shifting your habits. Um, now actually it's so funny. I forgot exactly where I was going. Uncertainty in the ebbs and flows of life. So when you are engaged in trying to accomplish your goals or trying to shift your habits, things are not always going to go according to plan. If you even have a plan at all, hopefully you have learned throughout doing the work that I teach you here that I advise having some sort of plan, even if that is a flexible plan, which we're going to be talking about this evening. Um, but in personal development and life in general, things don't always go according to plan. Things don't always go the way that we want them to go or that we expect them to go. Many times when we think that we're supposed to be making progress, we find that we're not making progress, nothing is happening at all, or we are frustrated or in our endeavors, or we have no energy, or perhaps you're in the other phase, the flow phase, where you're having a lot of energy, you're accomplishing a lot of tasks, a lot is going on in your life, there's a lot of external movement. And so whether you're in either space, the ebb or the flow, there are times when we keep up with where we are in alignment with where we are, and we are allowing our energy to nourish us and to move us through that place, whether that be ebbing or whether that be flowing. But there are times when we are not in that space, in that place of harmony and alignment. And maybe if we're in that ebb phase, this typically shows up as us feeling upset or frustrated because we're not accomplishing our goals, or we're not making as much progress, or we don't have any money. We're trying to manifest money, and it's just not there for you. Maybe your focus in life has just completely shifted away from something that you typically focus on, and now you're focusing on sometimes you have like a main priority and smaller priorities, and sometimes you're just not typically where you usually are. So instead of honoring that and honoring where you are, if we are not in alignment when we're in this place, we typically end up very frustrated or angry or just fighting that energy in any way that we possibly can. And even when things are flowing, when we're in the flow of life, when things are moving fast for us, when there's a lot of external movement, when there's a lot going on, that doesn't mean that we always keep up or we are in alignment in that space either. When we're out of alignment in that space, perhaps that's times when we feel still frustrated, but for a different reason. Maybe it's because we're overworked, or we're overwhelmed, or we're just not able to keep up with all of the intensity and all of the excitement and all of the energy. Maybe we're feeling tired and lethargic. You're just, the symptoms of that can manifest in a variety of ways for a variety of different people who have different mindsets and different habits. And we're going to be talking all about that this evening. So let me go ahead and just give my housekeeping items before we begin. Let me briefly introduce myself as well. If you just stumbled across this video and you haven't attended any of my workshops or haven't watched any of my content before, my name is Aaron. I am a certified life coach, mindfulness and meditation practitioner, and mindset guru. I'm here to bring you the tips, tools, and techniques that you can use in order to create a positive shift and transformation in your life. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about adapting to uncertainty during the ebbs and flows of life. So, we've already talked about, I've given a brief introduction now just on, what is the ebb phase and what is the flow phase. And clearly, both of them, anything in life involves a fair amount, we could say, of uncertainty. Um, so let's see what I have for you for housekeeping. So my website update, new crystal jewelry is going to go on my website next Saturday, April 23rd. It's going to be at noon. The website update will be at the same time. It always is. I have a few things I'm working on, like nothing I can even really, show you. You don't really, I don't even, I haven't even wrapped the crystals yet. This is just some like, weaving that I am doing. I'm not sure how clearly it's showing up on the camera. So I just have a lot of little pieces and little things like this that I'm slowly, little by little, getting things together. A lot of the jewelry that I'm going to have is going to be, I got a lot of these. This is actually going to be one of them. These spirit quartz, and this is actually angel aura spirit quartz. So it's coated in titanium. Let me scoot it back. It's like the shadow from the light. It's coated in titanium. Let me see how close can I get it. So it has a little bit more razzle dazzle on it. Let me see if I can find another one. Here's a spirit quartz that doesn't have the titanium on it. You see it's still very sparkly, very shiny. I love these, so I wanted to include those on in this jewelry update. So I'm gonna have some of those. I'm gonna have a lot of labradorite and aura plated labradorite. I'm gonna try to have a variety of necklaces and earrings and pendants and just bracelets and everything. So just keep an eye out for that. If you are following me on Instagram, of course, I'm going to be posting a few teasers and updates and show you some of the things that I already have created in the upcoming posts for this week and next week leading up into that. So just keep an eye out. And then my last thing that I have for you, my last item for housekeeping is going to be the good morning meditation. So I've created a 15-minute guided meditation for the morning called the Good Morning Meditation. It takes you through progressive muscle relaxation, some breath work, along with some visualization to help you really just get clear on your intention for the day and get your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions in alignment with that intention so you can lean in the direction of success. It's very quick, it's very easy. This is a meditation that you can do every day to just get in alignment and get your mind clear before you have to go out into the world and deal with other people and other energies and the energy of the external world. Go ahead and get yourself right. But that's really all that I have for you as far as housekeeping and upcoming items. So let's go ahead and jump into the content this evening. So typically I try to have everything like beautifully arranged for you and nicely organized. This one I did have to piecemeal up. So first I am going to give you 4 key skills, and then I'm going to be talking about 3 more skills or 3 more tips that I will give you in both the ebb and the flow category. And I'm going to give you some examples along the way as well. So I do advise that you have a pen, paper, notebook, tablet, journal, whatever you need, so that you can go ahead and take notes. If I say anything that you have questions about, that you have comments about, concerns about, make sure to go ahead and drop that in the comment section below. And I will be sure to respond back to all of your questions, okay? So let's go ahead and get it started. So the first thing that I want to talk about under key skills, the first item that I have for you is going to be mindset. Now, we talk a lot about mindset here on Higher Alignment. Mindset is really key. So, if we think about personal development, what that really means, at least for me, in my opinion, what that means is we are shifting our thoughts, our beliefs, and our patterns of behavior in order to bring us into harmony in life with what we want, for the benefit of ourselves, for the benefit of others. So really, there is a progression of the manifestation of our life and our lifestyle, which makes up, how we move and what we do. But we have thoughts, and then thoughts that we repetitively think turn into beliefs. Typically, we engage in some type of behavior, so we react or respond to those beliefs. When we do this often, this creates patterns of behavior and habits, and those habits make up our lifestyle. So, one thing that we can really do, very fundamental, very base level thing that's going to make a world of a difference, is getting our mindset together. Now, let me give you an example because I just like to be specific. Um, but of course, for many people, a lot of the things that I speak about today will be different from person to person. But as far as mindset, you often hear people talk about negative limiting beliefs or just limiting beliefs. That's what I refer to them as. And so a negative limiting belief is going to be a belief that does not support your goal in life, your vision of what you really want for yourself. The positive things that you want for yourself, the things that are going to add to your well being and to your vitality in life. So the vision of how you want your life to unfold in that direction. Sometimes we have thoughts that are not supportive of that, or not supportive of our goals, or not conducive to getting us where we want to be. These are what I call limiting beliefs. So, a common limiting belief that we all have, that most people have, is going to be, I can't handle what comes up, or I'm not going to be able to handle this, or I'm not going to be able to handle that. And many times this comes about when we're talking about decision making. And decision making is also a big part of personal development, when we have to make decisions in order to do things differently in life, or go in a new direction, or maybe stay with what we have been doing. So when we have to make those decisions, and sometimes we feel like, okay, I'm afraid of making this a decision because I don't know if I'm gonna make the right decision. And so that can lead us to either not making any decision at all, or making the wrong decision. And really, in this case, it's hard to distinguish, a little bit more difficult to distinguish between right and wrong decisions. So I'll say like a beneficial or unbeneficial decision, a decision that works in your favor or does not work in your favor. And that's where that fear kind of creeps in. Sometimes we're afraid that we're going to make a decision that won't work in our favor, and then that leads to other behaviors, like not making a decision at all, or learning not to trust in ourselves, or not to trust in our intuition, or just this brings about increased feelings of anxiety and instability and imbalance. Um, so this is a common limiting belief that many people have, that all of us have on a certain level. I'm not going to be able to handle what comes up, or perhaps I'm afraid of making the wrong decision. So if you're thinking about working on mindset and really evaluating your mindset, begin there. Hey Choice, welcome, welcome, welcome. You can begin there, and you can begin thinking about, okay, where am I afraid of making decisions, or where am I afraid of, where do I feel like I'm not going to be able to handle what comes up, and see what that is about. And I'm gonna be bringing everything back around. So this is I'll just say that you also, of course, want to have skills and techniques and tools to work with these things, and I'm going to talk about that later on. So I guess that's what I was trying to say. So the second key skill for you. So if you're taking notes, the first one was mindset. You are so welcome. Thank you, Choice, for joining me. Of course, I love to hold space for everyone in the community, and I felt like this would be a good topic because I know many people are in this place of honestly of ebb. I'm seeing a lot of people in this place of ebb where they're not being consistent, or their emotions, or we're being very emotional, which is not a bad thing. It's just, sometimes we're not as emotional as we are now, and I feel like the energy recently has been very heavy, so I thought that this would be a good topic to present on. So let's go ahead and move on to the second key skill. So for those of you who are watching live, or for those of you who are taking notes, so perhaps you are watching on the replay, number two is going to be developing mental and emotional flexibility. Okay, so this is going to be a key skill because this is necessary for us to have this mental and emotional flexibility. Actually, I see more comments and more people coming in, so I'm going to log in on my computer so I can see the comments. So give me just a moment while I do that. You all know that there is a lag here on the lives. Okay, perfect. So I am in there. Let me go back to my notes. So developing mental and emotional flexibility is key whether you are in the ebb phase in life or the flow phase in life. Just because life is characterized by this ebb and this flow, this constant flux and change. Things are always going to change. And here on Higher Alignment, I always talk about having a plan. I'm a person who's big on planning, I'm big on structure, I'm big on organization, because when I approach personal development, when I help others, when I help clients, I want to make sure that I'm giving you a systematic approach, and an approach where we'll be able to look and see what is working and what is not working, and how we can pivot and how we can change. And so that is going to require structure, that is going to require organization, that's going to require a plan. And in my personal life, I'm the same way. If you've all been following me here on Higher Alignment for quite a while, you know that I'm very open and honest about my personal life and the goals that I have accomplished and the things that I have made it through. And I believe that having a plan is essential. However, with that being said, even though you make a plan, that does not mean that things are always going to go according to that plan. Or that doesn't mean that you're not going to have to change that plan even at the drop of a dime right now, today, in this moment. Maybe that means that you're going to have to learn to do something differently. Maybe that means you're going to have to scrap your plan altogether. So even though you have a plan, and even though I talk about planning a lot, we need to also develop mental and emotional flexibility. And this is where I always bring in mindfulness meditation. If you are not familiar with mindfulness meditation and you want to begin that practice, I would highly suggest that you check out the mindfulness meditation YouTube series that I have here. So it's still a work in progress, but there are tons of videos in there already. The first video is an intro video, so it talks about what is mindfulness meditation. The next video is a practice, and each set of videos is structured in that way. There's an overview video, which gives you an overview of the exact technique that you will be learning, and the ins and outs, and the little nuances and tips. And then the following video is an actual guided practice. But coming back, mindfulness meditation allows us to learn to be mentally and emotionally flexible, because in mindfulness meditation, the technique basically is to rest awareness on an object of attention. That's what it's called, an object of attention. Okay? So you're resting awareness, the focus of your awareness, on to the object of attention. And anytime the mind is pulled away by an emotion, by a memory, by a sound, a sensation, Your objective in the beginning is to realize that the mind has become distracted and place the focus of attention back on that object of attention. So, in the beginning, you'll be practicing mindfulness and breathing in various aspects. Um, but hopefully that makes sense so far, and I'll keep explaining. If that makes sense, go ahead and drop me number 8 in the comment section below. If something about the definition or the explanation of mindfulness meditation does not make sense, go ahead and drop a number. Well, don't drop a number, just drop your question actually. But so, okay, I'm seeing some 8s come through already. So we have the definition, but how does this help us? Well, what we learn is that typically, I mean, you're going to have all kinds of thoughts and memories and emotions and sensations that are going to come up. Some of them are going to be pleasant, many of them are going to be unpleasant and antagonizing. Many of them are going to be things that you try to push away and things that you don't want to hear about and things that you don't want to talk about or something that upset you. So you're gonna have a lot of memories and a lot of emotions and sensations that will come up when you sit down to meditate. But remember, you're not trying to respond to them. You're not trying to participate or engage with them. You simply notice them. You notice them. And so when this trickles over into the waking life, because in the waking life, when your plans don't go the way that you want them to go, this is going to also generate memories and sensations in the body and movements in the mind and feelings of frustration or anger, and perhaps even leading you to responding and engaging in certain behaviors. But instead of doing that, you can become cognizant and aware of what's going on in your body, in your mind, so that you can choose the appropriate behavior. And this is exactly what you're practicing in mindfulness meditation, becoming aware of the memories and the emotions and the sensations as they come up, and and choosing with intently choosing to focus back on the sensations of the breath. So of course, not in the waking state, in the when you're not meditating, your objective is not going to be to just be resting on the sensations of your breath. Perhaps your objective is achieving your goal, or developing some new habit, or learning your skill. So you will be able to pivot and shift and change and make sure that you redirect your focus back to your goal, so you are responding or reacting in an appropriate and harmonious way. So this is going to allow you to develop mental and emotional flexibility. Hopefully that's clear. Also allowing things to be different than what you expected, and that's something that we previously also talked about with mindset. Remember, I told you some of these things would continue to come back around. So when we allow things to be different than what we expected them to be, you can see hopefully how this is allowing you to develop some mental and emotional stability and flexibility, because you're not requiring that certain conditions that need be met in order for you to do this or that, or for you to go in this direction or that direction. And then being open to possibilities and the unknown. Really, all shift, all transformation happens from this place of the unknown, and we shouldn't be afraid of the unknown. Many of us are, and that also goes back to mindset. Being afraid of the unknown, or being afraid of making a decision that doesn't lead to where we want us to be, or doesn't lead to a place where we expected it to be. So all of these things, practicing mindfulness meditation, allowing things to be different than what you expected, or being open to, and being open to possibilities in the unknown, all fall under our second key skill of developing mental and emotional flexibility. If that makes sense, go ahead and drop me number 8 in the comment section below. If you have questions, if that does not make sense, then go ahead and drop your question in the comment section below, and I will be more than happy to clarify and address anything that comes up. In the meantime, in between time, I'm going to go ahead and move forward, and we're going to move on to number 3. Number 3 is don't beat yourself up, okay? Beating yourself up actually does not hurt. does not help you. It does not serve a good purpose on your personal development journey. It blocks the flow of energy. It doesn't allow you to be in that place of harmony and alignment with your ebb and with your flow. But unfortunately, many of us beat ourselves up when we get into that place or that space where we are not in alignment. And the ultimate goal, once again, is to get back into alignment, get into alignment with our thoughts, our beliefs, and our patterns of behavior. So everything that, how we're moving, everything that you're doing, everything that you're thinking, your experiences leading you to that place in that space of success and accomplishment, whatever that may look like or mean for you. So say you're in the place of the flow, lots of external movement, lots of goals, lots of things going on, lots of movement. Yeah, we'll call it that. But say you're not keeping up with that movement. Things are going faster than you anticipated. Maybe you're feeling overworked or overwhelmed or just out of balance or stressed out. And then you begin beating yourself up because you're not keeping up, or you feel like you can't do this or you can't do that, or you're feeling the way that you're feeling. Beating yourself up and making yourself feel guilty or frustrated, or any negative emotion on any emotion on the negative end of the spectrum isn't actually going to bring you into alignment, isn't going to bring you into harmony. So I would not advise doing that. The same thing, say you're in the ebb, you want things to be flowing for you, things are not moving the way that you want them to. Maybe you just don't have any inspiration or motivation to take action at all. You feel like you should be taking action. You feel like you should be doing this, but you just can't work yourself up. You can't get the energy going. Or maybe the focus of your attention has shifted to something different altogether. Typically, you're focusing on your relationships and your family, but right now you have a lot of things going on in the finance area of life. You have a lot of debt and credit cards, so maybe this is causing you to have to find another job and take time away from your family, and not being around your friends and not cultivating those relationships or engaging in relationships the way that you typically would. So things aren't flowing in that regard. Maybe they're ebbing. This is just an example I'm making up. And instead of honoring your emotions and honoring your experience and where you are, you're kind of beating up on yourself for being in this other space, in this different place. Once again, that does not help you come back into alignment. It does not help you, move forward in a way that is going to bring you into success, is going to even bring you back into the flow where you want to be anyway. So I would advise not beating yourself up. Okay, so let me just review. Number one, our first key skill was mindset, developing a solid mindset. Number two is going to be developing mental and emotional flexibility, and we broke this down into three different sections. Talking about the practice of mindfulness meditation, allowing things to be different than what you expected them to be, and being open to possibilities and the unknown. Number three is going to be don't beat yourself up. So don't beat yourself up when you're in the space of flow or when you're in the space of ebb. Maybe you want to be in the opposite space, or maybe you're just not keeping up, or you're just not in harmony and alignment with the ebb or with the flow of the energy. Don't beat yourself up. That's not going to help. And then my fourth skill in this section, in this section of key skills, is going to be learning skills for adaptability. Okay, if everything is making sense so far, go ahead and drop me number 8 in the comment section below. I see some more people coming on in, so welcome, welcome, welcome. I am logged in on my computer as well, so I can see any comments that you all put in that chat section. So if you do have any questions, comments, experiences, make sure to drop those in that chat. You already know this is a safe space where we come to do our personal development work. So, don't feel any kind of way about asking or speaking up or anything like that. But go ahead and drop me a number 8 if everything is making sense so far. If you have any questions, comments, experiences, go ahead and drop those in the comment section. Number four, let's keep it moving. So, of course, we're talking about adapting to uncertainty, you know, flowing with life and going with life, and how to achieve that when we are in either the ebb state or the flow state. So, I'm giving you four key skills, and then I'm going to talk about three things that you can do in both the ebb and the flow state. So, the final key skill that I have for you is learning skills for adaptability, okay? So here on Higher Alignment, you know, I have tons of playlists for you. You have an EFT playlist, you have a guided meditations playlist. There is the mindfulness meditation playlist. There's the personal development playlist, the self transformation playlist. So I organize everything in this way to give you tools, to give you the ability to pull something out of your toolbox or out of your, you know, your tool belt, and to be able to work with it, to move and make shifts and make changes. I believe in the power of tools and skills and techniques and abilities. And this is something that I always advise people to cultivate, because these things will come back around when you are in times of imbalance, when you are in times of uncertainty, when you are in the ebb or the flow and you need to course correct, you need to redirect, you need to do something different. Well, this is where you need certain skills, and you need to have the know-how to do that. So that's why I give you, you know, subliminal affirmations and positive affirmations and solfeggio frequencies and all of these things. So I advise learning different skills, learning different healing modalities. And it doesn't have to just relate to energy work in itself, which I believe energy work is amazing. That's why I teach it here. That's why I teach the emotional freedom technique. That's why I teach mindfulness meditation, and I create, you know, the good morning guided meditation so that you can get focused, and learning progressive muscle relaxation and breath work and all of these different things. But sometimes different skills and different abilities will be things like productivity, learning how to be productive. For those of you who are not new to this, who are true to this, you've been around for a while, remember we had the Discipline Masterclass series, and we talked about procrastination, and limiting beliefs came up there as well. But we also talked about productivity, and I gave you some practical skills, and tips in order to just be more productive and be more disciplined in life, to be more consistent. So for some people, that may look like that. Remember, we also talk about the 7 areas of life here. So, health and fitness, relationships, career, finance, personal development, spirituality, and recreation. Depending on what area of life is currently resonating and is currently important for you at the moment, those skills will also be different. So, say you are focusing on the finances area in your life and things are not flowing the way that you want them to be. Maybe you're in that ebb state. The money is not flowing in, it's not coming in and out the way that you want it to be. So maybe this means that you need to learn how to budget your money and budget your time. Maybe you need more money management skills. Maybe this is where you learn how to repair your credit, or get your savings in order, and things like that. Maybe if you're going through something an emotional turbulent point in your life, this is where you will want to have skills like EFT, and you want to be able to do things, have tons of like journaling activities and things like active imagination, or even just other things that make you feel comfortable. Like, I know for myself personally, I like going on long walks. When I get agitated and frustrated and emotional, I tend to pace a lot. I tend to talk to myself. So I will use this as an excuse to go on a walk, to give my physical body some exercise in order to calm my physical body, to calm my nervous system, to calm the mind, to center and focus myself. So these different skills and abilities will be different for different people. So some of them could be related to time management or productivity, or things like energy work, EFT, mindfulness meditation, or just keeping your body balanced in general. Um, so you know, this is going to be specific to you in your life, in your lifestyle. The skills and the things that you learn, the tools that you learn, you want them to fit within your life and your lifestyle, things that you like to do that directly address the types of stressors that you have in your life. You want to choose activities that will nourish you and support you. And as you begin learning more about yourself, doing some self exploration, and just exploring your interests, you will naturally come across these different skills and abilities. But if you are looking to learn some things, make sure to check out the Higher Alignment Teachable School. I have tons of classes and courses that will walk you through different steps and stages in life. Maybe you're trying to, heal from relationships, relationship wounds, or you are trying to improve the relationship you have with yourself. I have a course on relationships. It's called Opening Your Heart. Maybe you're trying to learn certain things like EFT, so you have the EFT masterclass series, or maybe you're someone who's interested in lucid dreaming and dream work. So I have a few courses on dream work and lucid dreaming, and so go ahead and check out the Higher Alignment Teachable School, higheralignment.teachable.com. You can also tap the link in in the description box and get there as well. So those are the four key skills. Those are the four key skills that I have for you. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the ebb and the flow, so I can give you just a little bit more information. But of course, I just want to read the energy in the room. I'm not seeing a lot of comments, which is perfectly okay. Maybe you are taking notes. Maybe you're listening to me while you're washing the dishes, or you're making some food for the kids, or doing whatever else it is that you are doing. But if everything I've said made sense so far, go ahead and drop me a number 8 in the comment section. That's going to let me know that you are ready to roll, that you are ready for this train to move forward. And if not, drop me your clarifying question so that I can answer anything that comes up. But the next section of this workshop, I have 3 more skills. Okay, I'm seeing the eights. I'm seeing the eights. Thank you. I have 3 more skills: balance, flexibility, and consistency. And we're going to talk about what these mean in both the ebb and the flow state. Okay, so I can just specify that for you a little bit. So let's talk about the ebb state first. So I am doing this series on the ebb and the flow on Instagram and YouTube, because I feel like many of us, that's where we are in life. That's I'm seeing that even engagement on social media, across many platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, is at a low. I'm not seeing many comments and many likes, not just on my account but other accounts. So this just lets me know that people have things going on in life. There are things going on, okay? We all have things going on. We have issues in our relationships, and we're trying to heal, and we're trying to practice self-care. We're trying to get that money going. We're trying to move forward in our careers. We're trying to develop these spiritual relationships with our ancestors and the divine, and we're trying to learn these new skills like EFT and mindfulness meditation. But then we just have, drama going on. Let's be honest, there's drama, there's trauma going on. So we just, things don't always go exactly according to plan. And we talked about that earlier when we talked about developing flexibility, mental and emotional flexibility. But in the ebb phase, this is where we typically find ourselves, where our energy isn't flowing externally the way that it typically is, or we're not focused where we typically are focused. So things just aren't flowing the way that they normally are. So I say that this is a period of time where you really can, if you optimize it and take advantage of the opportunity, this is when you can really pour into yourself. This is when you can rest and relax. Life is not all about working hard and just, go, 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 go. And many of us, me included, specifically talking to myself here, sometimes we go, go, go so much that we really don't stop until life forces us to stop. and we get in that ebb phase, and then when we're not in harmony, we feel like we don't want to be here. We want to be in the place where things are flowing, where the energy is moving, where it's all love and light and peace and happiness, and just, everything is perfect and amazing. That's not the way things always are. So when we're in that ebb state in life, that ebb phase in life, if you are optimizing this time and this space, then you're really using this as an opportunity to pour into yourself, to rest and relax. um, so here I have the three skills: balance, flexibility, and consistency. So balance is in the ebb state is going to be that pouring into yourself. And we talk a lot about self-care. So I have tons of videos here that can help you with self-care, tons of videos that will help you learn different tools and different techniques that you can add into your toolbox. Once again, like EFT, like mindfulness meditation, or even if you're someone who doesn't like mindfulness meditation, maybe you want to do the guided meditations and visualizations or things like that. Hello, Angela. Thanks for dropping in. I really appreciate it. So pouring into yourself, pouring into yourself. This is what balance is going to be in the ebb state. Flexibility. Flexibility is allowing yourself to do less or accomplish less. So clearly, if you're in the flow state, this might not be a time where you are accomplishing all 50 things on your to-do list every day. That may not be happening. You may have 10 things on your to-do list, but you can only seem to get to one or two. You may not even be getting into, you maybe just be getting to one thing, and then you're upset because normally you get to those 10 things. Well, you just have to honor and respect where you are. And that means being in harmony and being in alignment means not fighting, not fighting where you are, honoring where you are. So sometimes that means giving yourself permission and allowing yourself to do less than you normally would. Okay, that's just where your energy is, and the best thing that you can do is honor that. And then consistency. So this is going to be engaging in your self-care, pouring into yourself, or honestly, if you do have a goal, say you do have a very important goal to you and things just aren't flowing, you're in that ebb phase, instead of feeling like you have to give up everything, sometimes one thing that I would suggest is just focusing on one thing, being very single pointedly focused, not expelling and expending a lot of energy. So, whatever of the 7 areas of life that you are focused on, wherever you're resonating, if you have a goal and maybe you can't accomplish 3 things every day, you can't stick to your 7 to 10 small daily intentions. Maybe you just have one small daily intention that you're going to just commit to over the next however long until you naturally go back into that flow phase. That's going to give you a little bit of consistency and allow you to have a little bit of balance too. You haven't completely given up. You are allowing yourself to rest and relax, but you're doing, kind of like the minimum, like on the credit card. You're making the minimum payment. So, sorry y'all, I'm battling a sinus infection as well. I'm hoping that this is going to be like the last day of it. But that's everything that I have for ebb. I have 3 more points: the same: balance, flexibility, and consistency for flow. So if you're taking notes and you have finished taking notes so far, if you're just listening and you're picking up what I'm putting down, you're smelling what I'm stepping in, everything is making sense, go ahead and drop me a number 8 in the comment section. If not, drop me your question. I will be more than happy to clarify. Once I get at least 1 8, let me get 1 or 2 8s just to let me know that you all are flowing with me. You are in harmony with me. 8 is that number of harmony and alignment. It lets me know that we are on the same page. Then I'll go ahead and move on to flow. I just want to make sure that I'm not leaving anyone behind, that anything that I'm saying is not leaving you bewildered or confused or bamboozled or anything like that. So let me see some 8s. Let me see some 8s. Let me see some 8s. I feel like my mouth is getting dry. Let me go over here to my computer just to look. I know there is a lag, so I'm just making sure if everything that I am saying if everything that I am saying makes sense so far, If you are picking up what I'm putting down, if you are smelling what I'm stepping in, go ahead and drop me number 8 in the comments section. Let me see some 8s roll up the screen. If you have questions, comments, experiences, if you need some feedback, if something I said does not make sense, if you are wondering how this information applies to your personal life or a personal situation and you feel that you want to ask that, this is the perfect time to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to give it a moment. If not, we're going to move forward anyway. Just want to give you all an opportunity to chime in. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and switch my screen back to my notes now. Okay, so moving forward, let's go into the flow phase. So the flow phase is where our energy is moving externally, and a lot may be going on in our life. A lot may be going on in our external experience. So if you are someone who is committed to your personal development, your goal achievement, your self-transformation, whatever that may look like for you, you may find that, okay, there are lots of doors opening up for you. There are lots of opportunities flowing into you. Maybe there's a lot of shift, there's a lot of change. Sometimes that can be a little bit unsettling. Maybe if you're working on love and relationships, maybe you're going on a lot of dates and a lot of people are asking you out. Maybe if you're working on your finances, and maybe that means that there's a lot of the flow of money is circulating. There's a lot of money coming in, there's a lot of money going out. You're spending a lot of money, you're making a lot of money. Maybe this is you finding opportunities for improvement in your personal business, or trickling over into your career. Just it's just a lot going on. Maybe a lot of things are going on. Okay, maybe you're in that place of life. So balance here, balancing is going to be on balancing your focus and your priorities. So the main thing that we find here, when we are not in alignment, we are in the flow state, but we're not in alignment. We feel overworked or overwhelmed or frustrated just because of the sheer amount of, sugar, honey, iced tea that's going on. We get swept up in all of that. So making sure that you or your focus is balanced and that you have your priorities aligned is going to take you a long way. It's going to take you a long way to make sure that you are putting your energy, your time, your attention, and your energy in the correct places, and not in places where they just, it's not serving you, or you could have been doing something else. Flexibility is going to be allowing yourself to do things differently than planned, okay? This goes back to that developing that mental and emotional flexibility. Sometimes if we have a lot going on, we have things planned, we have things organized because we're like, this is the way that I'm going to be able to get the most done. But then something happens that we did not anticipate. Something happens, it shows up in a way that we did not expect it to show up, or it turns out that it doesn't look like what we wanted it to look like, or we thought it was going to look like in the end. That can cause us a little bit of frustration, and if we begin responding and reacting to that frustration, then that once again may not lead us into harmony. It may keep us in a state of stagnancy. We're being stagnant instead of flowing. So just being open to the possibilities of things being different, being open to things changing, to be flexible. Don't be too rigid when you have your plan and things are flowing. When things are flowing, you need to be flowing too. Okay. And then our last item under flow, our last consistency. Consistency here is going to be having an organized, structured plan for goal achievement. So if we think about the way all of these three aspects are working together, the last two, allowing yourself to be flexible, to do things differently than planned, but also being consistent, having an organized, structured plan for goal achievement. Both of those together, when we allow ourselves to hold space for flexibility and consistency, this too is balance. So you see how all of this is working together. You don't want to be so flexible that you just don't have any plan at all, and you're out here either not doing anything or just doing whatever. Neither of those are really going to help you. And you don't want to be so rigid that you're not able to shift and change when life is calling you to shift and change, because that leads you to breaking, okay? So, in consistency, you do want to have an organized structure. You do want to have a plan. You do want to, have your vision in mind, what you want your desired outcome to be, and what are some strategic steps you can use to get from point A to point B. What resources do you need? What new skills do you need to acquire? What new experiences do you need to have in order to move you forward? Okay. So hopefully this was enough information, and hopefully this was organized in a way that you were easily able to assimilate it. Remember, this workshop will stay available for replay on my YouTube, so anytime you need to come back to this information, you most certainly can. Check in the description box for resources, the Higher Alignment Teachable School. This is going to be where all of my master classes and workshop series are housed. So if you're looking to learn new skills and new techniques and new abilities, if you're looking for some help navigating a certain situation or experience that you're having in life, you can go ahead and check on the Teachable School, where I have a lot of self-serve options, a lot of self-help tools there for you. So the courses are typically lecture and workshop, but they also have workbooks, external resources, guided meditations, self exploration prompts, activities, exercises. So they're really robust and well rounded programs. So go ahead and check those out. Make sure, of course, to check around on the Higher Alignment YouTube channel here, where I have tons of free resources for you. Solfeggio frequencies, subliminal affirmations, EFT routines, guided meditations, visualizations, guided mindfulness meditation, shamatha, all of that good stuff. So much I'm like I'm struggling to keep up, and I'm gonna have more resources coming out for you too in the future. I'm gonna be having a journaling prompt series where you can learn more about different journaling activities and things like that. So if no one has any questions, I'm going to go ahead and head out of here. I'm going to give it just a minute or two. So go ahead and drop me a number 8 if everything I've said so far makes sense. And drop me a question, comment, experience, anything in the comment section that you want me to quickly review or offer you some feedback on before we head out of here. In the meantime, in between time, let me just review the key skills for adapting to uncertainty in the ebbs and flows of life. So the first one is going to be mindset. So just developing that mindset that you can handle whatever comes up in life, developing this mindset that you are confident in your decisions and your skills. And even if you make a decision that doesn't work in your favor or doesn't directly lead you to where you want to be, that you'll still be okay. The second key skill is going to be developing mental and emotional flexibility. So, here we talked about practicing mindfulness meditation, as well as allowing things to be different than what you expected and being open to possibilities and the unknown. Number 3 was going to be don't beat yourself up. So, when you're in that state of ebb or flow, if you're in that state and you're not in harmony, or alignment, or perhaps you're in that state but you are preferring to be in the opposite state, or you're just having an unpleasant experience, don't beat yourself up about it. That's not going to help. And then our last key skill was learning new skills for adaptability. So this can be different depending on where you are and what area of life you are currently working in and what is resonating with you. But things like, in general, like time management, productivity, energy work, EFT, mindfulness meditation, how to just keep your body balanced in general, taking care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and then, of course, as well as learning those specific skills and abilities that directly correlate to whatever area of the 7 areas in life or what specifically you are focusing on. And then we talked about balance, flexibility, and consistency, developing those in both the ebb state and the flow state and what those look like. Perfect. So I am not seeing anything else come up. Hey Tiff, thanks for joining. You're excited about the journaling prompt. So I have about 2 months of YouTube videos already lined up. So I'm happy that you're excited about it. Don't be too excited because it's not going to be coming out in the next 60 days. I can guarantee that. But over the next 60 days, you will see a lot more EFT routines and a lot more guided meditations and solfeggio frequencies and videos in the self-transformation series and the self-transformation series playlist. So keep an eye out for those. Remember, next Saturday is going to be the website update. So I'm going to be updating new crystal jewelry. There's going to be lots of angel aura spirit quartz, lots of spirit quartz, labradorite, angel labradorite, and just some random, like some of my favorite things. I tried to pick out some good, exciting things and make some nice, beautiful things. You'll see some of the designs specifically for the bracelets have been updated. So you'll see new bracelets. And I'm thinking about even opening my customs for a week. So we'll take a look at that when that comes around. And then don't forget that the newest guided meditation is up. It is a 15-minute morning meditation. You'll see me talking about it all this week on my Instagram. It is called the Good Morning Meditation, 15-minute guided good morning meditation. It takes you through progressive muscle relaxation, breath work, and visualization in order to help you get focused on a clear intention for today and for the day, and getting your thoughts, beliefs, and patterns of behavior, your energy, all in alignment. It's quick, it's 15 minutes. You can do this every day in the morning just to have a good morning that's going to lead into an even better day. So make sure to check that out. If you haven't already, try out that 15-minute good morning meditation and leave me a comment on how it works out for you tomorrow, okay? Yes. Is it Takaya? Takaya? Yes, Takaya. Try that out. So my nose is getting stuffy. I'm taking that as a sign that I've been on here running my mouth long enough. I'm going to go ahead and head out of here. You all have a wonderful rest of your evening. And as always, of course, if you do have any questions, you already know you can reach out to me on Instagram. Send me a DM to @higheralignment. Higher is spelled Hiyer, and I will be sure to get back to you. Check out the links in the description box. And if you ever need assistance working on your personal situation, achieving your goals, developing your habits, shifting your mindset, maybe you're trying to learn more about these energy work techniques that I talk about here, lucid dreaming, dream work, EFT, mindfulness meditation, you can always book a one-on-one session with me as well. So once again, all of that information is going to be in the description box. Check out those links, and I will see you next Wednesday for the next live workshop. Have a wonderful rest of your evening.